The next shape, the basic shape that we're going to deal with is the cone. Now, cones are fairly easy to draw. What I see most often with students is they just randomly draw two lines down, and so you have this kind of out of whack cone. So what you want to do is drop a vertical line, and then you're going to measure across the base. Our cone that we're using is fairly narrow and tall, and so I've drawn a dot out at 3 inches on both sides of this, which gives me 6 inches. Now I'm going to just simply connect the dots. I go from the top to this dot. Same thing on this side. Okay, and there's my cone. I come straight across. And then this part's just like the cylinder. I just decide how big of a curve it is. If you're really high and looking down, it's going to be a fairly large curve. If you're looking at it at a more straight on angle, it's not going to be all that curved. So I'm going to make a mark there. I come from here to there, and from here to there. Okay. And there's my cone. Now, the next mistake that people make is when they're shading, they do it like they do a cylinder. They just come straight down, and that's not how it works. What you want to do is come up to the top. Now, if the light's coming from behind, you're only going to see a little bit of light on the front side here. If it's coming more from an angle above us and to the front, then it's going to be somewhat over here. And that's the way ours is set up right now. And so I'm going to draw this down. And this is now very similar to the cylinder. This is going to be your core shadow. That's very, very dark right along there. Also going to be dark on the outside edge, and a little bit lighter in between. This is the reason that we were practicing with our value scale, because we have to get used to having really dark values, going to medium values, and to the light values. Okay? Now once again, when you get down here, because we've got reflected light, the shadows are going to be a little bit lighter by the time we get down here. Not quite as dark. Yeah, of course it's same thing in between. And then your cast shadow comes off of this point where the light's passing by. So that's where your cast shadow comes. And it'll come from back here at this point. And eventually these two will meet and cast the shadow of the cone. And as we've talked about before, the shadow will be darker in here, but gets slightly lighter as it comes in here because of reflective light bouncing off of different things. It's rare that you have a single light source coming into a place. In a room, there's going to be windows, a light maybe somewhere in the corner. And so you're going to have a little bit of light bouncing around. And so, because of things like that, it's usually going to be a little bit lighter as you get closer to the object, simply because of light bouncing off and hitting those objects.